Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will discuss on a new chapter, Chapter 6, Forms of Organizational Structure. In this chapter, we are going to look at a variety of organizational structures and describe the informal organization and discuss intrapreneuring. Okay, let me share with you the learning objectives of this chapter. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the differences among functional, divisional, matrix, and international organizational structures. And you should be able to describe the informal organization and discuss entrepreneuring. But for today, we are going to discuss only the first objective, which is on the basic forms of the organizational structure. Organizations can structure themselves in many ways. There are four basic ways that the organizations can structure themselves. The first one is functional structure, second is divisional structure, third is matrix structure, and the last is international structure. And we'll discuss in details those four basic forms of organizational structure in the next slides. The first basic forms of organizational structure is functional structure. What is functional structure? It is actually an organizational structure in which authority is determined by the relationships between group functions and activities. Under this functional structure, relationship between group functions and activities determine the authority. Functional structure is used by most small to medium-sized firms, which are usually structured around basic business functions. For instance, a marketing department, an operation department, and a finance department. So that is the basic functions of the organization, basic business functions in the organization. Alright, let's take a look at the figure 6.5 on functional structure. So here is the example of the functional structure. At the top we have the CEO or the president, and at the second level we do have the vice president for each functional departments, for each business functions. So we have a vice president for operations, a vice president for marketing, up to a vice president for research and development. And under each of the business functions, we do have let's say in operations we do have plant managers, and under the plant managers we do have the supervisors. So this is what we call as functional structure. The benefits of functional structure include specialization within functional areas and smoother coordination among them, because you know whom to refer to. We know the expertise, who are the experts in particular area, in those area. And the disadvantages include fostering centralization and a lack of accountability. And then poor cross-functional coordination. Foster centralization means the decision making will be made by only the top level management. So that's the disadvantage, the drawbacks of functional structure. The second type of organizational structure is divisional structure. What is a divisional structure. It is actually an organizational structure in which the corporate divisions, these corporate divisions operate as autonomous businesses under the larger corporate umbrella. What does it mean? Alright, we have a parent company, and under this parent company, they have few divisions. Alright, so these few divisions, they will be responsible for their own divisions. They will be responsible for their own production, how to market their product, and so on and so forth. Okay, I will explain to you, I will share with you what are the examples, the examples of the company that are using this divisional structure. This divisional structure relies heavily on product departmentalization. If you still remember the types of departmentalization that we have learned in earlier chapter, among the types of departmentalization are product departmentalization, customer departmentalization, we have functional departmentalization, and many more. So any organizations using this approach, they are typically structured around several product-based division that resemble separate business in that they produce and market their own products. So they are responsible. They are the one who are responsible from the start of the product, the planning of the product, towards the end, the marketing of the product. Okay, so each division usually has its own identity. And they operate as a relatively autonomous business under the larger corporate umbrella. So in this divisional structure, the divisions can share the corporate level resources. They can share it. But sometimes corporate managers lost touch with their daily operations. Also, the competition between divisions can be disruptive. Why? Let's say in A division, they are producing A product. B division, they are producing B product. So there will be a competition between these two, on to get the attention, to get the awareness, to get the intention of their target customer to buy their product. Let's say the products of Oli and Garnier. Let's say they are from the same company. So they are competing with each other to attract the customers to buy their product. And the effort in one division may duplicate those of another. So in this divisional structure, alright, effort will be duplicated, as we will have different vice president for each of the divisions. Will have different marketing managers for each of the divisions, and so on and so forth. Right, let's take a look at this figure. This is actually a company of Johnson & Johnson. They has a divisional structure for its healthcare products, as the company is separated into consumer health products, into medical devices and diagnostics, and pharmaceuticals. Alright, so they are using this divisional structure. Another example that I can give you is Sime Darby Group. There are so many divisions under Sime Darby Group. They have plantation, they have industrial division, they have motors division, property, and energy and utilities. And under each of these divisions, they have subdivisions of it. I give you an example of plantation. Plantation division. They have upstream, downstream subdivision. They have research and development. They have marketing, global marketing division, and then they have quality management division. Alright, so that is the example of a divisional structure. As for the advantage of the divisional structure, it will increase product focus and internal coordination because they are divided, because they are many divisions. Okay, they can protect each other. Okay, they can protect each other, for example, during downturns. Okay, so if let's say one division they can't gain profit, the other division they will protect this company from the decline and they can carry the company through it. As for the disadvantages, like what I said earlier, it is a duplication of efforts and competition between division. Competition is sometimes good and sometimes is bad to the company. Why it is good? Competition is good so that you will be motivated to reach your target, the target that you have set earlier. But the bad side of this competition is, you want to compete with each other and you want to be at the top of the sales, for example, and you won't help the other division to reach their target. The third basic forms of organizational structure is matrix structure. What is matrix structure? It is an organizational structure created by superimposing one form of structure onto another. In the simplest word, it is actually a combination of two separate structures. One underlying permanent organizational structure, then an additional organizational framework on top of that one. So it is actually a combination of two separate structures. So this structure enables the firm to be highly flexible and adaptable. So most of the organization nowadays, they are applying this matrix structure in the organization. But sometimes a matrix organization is a temporary measure. It is a temporary measure installed to complete a specific project and affects only one part of the firm. This means that at the end of a project, usually means the end of the matrix. That what does it mean by a temporary measure? So it will just exist, it will just emerge if there is a new project at hand. So given an example over here, the Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. This Martha Stewart, they are practicing this semi-permanent fixture. Since the company is organized into media and merchandising group, but also lifestyle sectors. So you may have a look at this structure that shows the Martha Stewart organizational structure. So they are practicing this matrix structure. So let's say here, let's take a look at, for example, magazine. Magazine division, for example, under media group publishing magazine, they will work with a cooking department, cooking expert or cooking department, and this magazine will get the information, whatever, let's say, ingredients about certain recipe from cooking department. That is called matrix structure. And let's say they are under a TV program, cooking program, cooking TV program, chef, those master chef and so on. So they will be having this matrix structure just because of that TV program. Once the TV program ends, this structure will end. Alright. Another example that I want to give you is on, let's say we have a company X. This company X, they want to conduct a one-time event. Alright, so to conduct that one-time event, they need a team. A team is created to work on it. Project team may consist of members from from the existing functional department. We have the HR department, marketing department, and let's say we have event planning department, finance department. So each of the members will contribute related information based on their expertise. Okay, so after the work is done, the team members will move back to their permanent functional jobs, and that is called matrix structure. For the pros and cons of this matrix structure. For the pros, it is highly flexible and easily adaptable structure. It focused on a single problem because it will be just emerge if there's a new project. Okay, better access to resources and expertise because you will cross department. You will do work cross department, and there will be a team member from HR department. There will be a team member from marketing, from operations, and so on. And this minimizes the cost by sharing the key people. As for the disadvantages, it will create loss of command and control as the responsibility may be unclear. Okay, you are unclear of your responsibility as there are too many responsibilities at hand. Okay, so you are the, let's say, human resource manager under this functional department. Then under the matrix structure, you are the event manager, for example. Okay, and then reporting to more than one manager at a time. Okay, you are reporting to more than one manager at a time, and this makes either the management, the supervisors, or the employees itself confused. Okay, and this will lead to lack of accountability. It will lead to conflict and then stress among the employees. Okay, and then the last one is impermanent existence, in which, okay, if let's say you are the human resource manager in a human resource department, you are the event manager in A project, and you are the, let's say, recruiting teams in B project, for example. Okay, if there's a meeting, sometimes the meeting can happen at the same time, so you might attend only at A meeting but not in B meeting, for example. Here comes the last type of organizational structure: international organizational structure. It is an approach to organizational structure developed in response to the need to manufacture, to purchase, and to sell in global markets. So if you have these needs, if the organization, they have these needs, they need to manufacture their products or services overseas. They need to purchase the products overseas, the raw materials overseas, and they need to sell it in global markets. Okay, so they need to have this international organizational structure. Okay, but usually they will have a division on international demand. Alright, so they will have this international, we call it as international division structure, international organizational structure. Okay, so several different international organizational structure have emerged in response to the need to these things, to manufacture, to purchase, and to sell to global markets. Okay, so this structure is built to handle all international operations, as the name implies, international. Okay, some companies adopt a truly global structures in which they will acquire resources, they will produce goods and services, engage in R&D, and sell products in whatever local market is appropriate without considering national boundaries. But some of the companies only produce goods internationally, and some are still in the development stages of international business operations, not fully global, not truly global. Alright, let me give you an example of a company that has this international organizational structure. Okay, Petronas is one of it. We have Proton, we have Sime Darby. What else? We have YTL. Okay, YTL started from a small construction company to a well-known infrastructure company nowadays. Okay, what else do we have? We have AirAsia. Alright, we have Maybank, and many more. Alright, so what are the advantages of this international organizational structure? Okay, so the advantages is it ensures the attention of the top management towards developing a holistic, okay, and unified approach to international operations. So they give focus on this international organizational structure, international organization. Okay, so provides much greater autonomy in decision making, because you have your own division on international market, then you will have the autonomy in decision making for that international market. Alright, because for local and international there will be different ways on how to manage things. Okay, alright. Among the disadvantages, it separates domestic managers from their international counterparts. And then the other one is difficulty in ideating and acting strategically and in allocating resources globally. Okay, this is our last slide for today. This figure shows the international division structure of General Electric. If you look at this structure, it still keeps the international division separately from other division. Okay, why? Because this international division is important for international business and for international run, for any international issue. So this division will be responsible for any issues related to the international issues, the companies that you have overseas. Alright, so we still need this international division to manage all those things. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.